And by the way, it's great to finally have a show where four white guys can get equal time. What percentage of right-wing radio do you feel is actually based on fact, right? Jeff Kreisler?
Well, first of all, I should say it's not just four white guys. It's four white guys, dark blazers, and it's the evolution of hair. Here.
Oh, you look at that.
I think whatever the percentage is, Karl Rove is going to ask Megyn Kelly to check it again, and I just lost my voice. So
But I think you got it right, and I think that's why I want to. I'm going to do something a little different tonight. Mark Sanford won a special congressional election last night to defeat Democratic challenger Elizabeth Colbert Bush. So if a sex scandal with your Argentinian lover doesn't prevent you from winning the family values vote, what possibly could? Here to tell me what possibly could, I'm pleased to be joined by tonight's panel of non-experts. Actor and comedian Richard Chasler, who will be appearing this Sunday night at the Stand Comedy Club here in New York City and plays Martin Balsam in Hitchcock opposite Anthony Hopkins. Great to have you back.
Thanks.
Comedian and author of the book You'll Be Swell, Jim David. Great to have you back. And comedian and author of Get Rich Cheating, The Crooked Path, The Easy Street. It's even better to have you back, Jeff Kreisler, than these other two mooks. Let's get started.
Nice.
Some people are surprised that a guy who publicly cheated on his wife in such a heroic way and did so with public funds, which he was forced to pay back, $70,000, could win this election. I'm more surprised that in a congressional race in a 75% white conservative district in the South, it could even be this close. So if Mr. Sanford could win, is there anything that could cause a Republican to lose in a district like this? Rich?
Yeah, I mean, marry a black Jew.
that could do it. Yeah,
I think you're pretty much out.
Jim, if Mark Sanford had sneaked away from his wife to visit his male lover,
that would have done it.
Yeah.
And especially if it was a gay black Muslim. That would have done it.
Gay black undocumented Muslim.
Only if he visited him in order to provide him health care. Then he would have been totally wiped out.
Well, okay, then let me ask you the flip side of this.
I used to live down there, you know.
Yeah?
I lived in South Carolina for 4 years, yeah.
Beautiful country.
It's lovely, but they think Halliburton is Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton's daughter, you know. So, I mean, it's not, they're as nice as they can be, but they park a few feet from the curb.
But at the same time, as we discussed with Michael Tomasky earlier, isn't it really about tribalism? Isn't it really about you're one of us?
Yeah,
the very fact that
totally.
Ms. Colbert Bush is pro-choice is all that matters, right?
That's enough to get her knocked off the ticket completely.
But also, she's a woman down there, you know what I mean? And I don't know how Nikki Haley got elected.
Governor.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
But it also depends. Look, I mean, depends on how you spell your name. I know you're going to talk about if Democrats do it too. How do you spell your name? Does it end with an R or a D? I mean, like we taught the polling a week ago was Colbert Bush winning, but the people aren't paying attention until they go into the booth and they see R or D. That's all that matters.
I think you're right, but let's address what you just brought up. Is there anything that a Democrat could do that would cause him or her to lose to a Republican in, say, the Upper West Side of Manhattan?
He could order pastrami on white bread with mayo.
No, I'm serious, because isn't it true both ways? Doesn't it work for the left as well?
No.
I mean, if John Edwards ran against David Duke, then maybe Democrats would vote for him. But, like, is there anything a Democrat could do to lose to a Republican in Portland, Oregon, Jim?
No.
Very difficult. I think
I think the pattern is like, you know, pretty much set, isn't it, around the country? I mean, this is where it is. You know?
Well, the question is, does the shift in the party ever make a difference? For instance, right now we're all commenting, oh, the change in the Republican Party, they're becoming this extreme party. Is that ever going to change people's mind about how they vote? For instance, if the Democrats went to some extreme, maybe Democrats would stop voting for them. But that hasn't happened yet.
Well, a lot of people are comparing this sex scandal to Anthony Weiner. I don't think that's fair, since the Anthony Weiner sex scandal contained no actual sex.
Yeah.
And it's going to be even longer before he ever has any again. That was a guy being creepy alone on the internet. That's completely different. But again, the better example is John Edwards, who also misused campaign funds to cover up an affair. Is there any way John Edwards would be able to win any kind of Democratic primary anywhere in the country?
Absolutely.
Where?
Where or how?
Where?
I would say pretty much most blue states for sure. And I hate to use the term, but look, the public has proven time and time again that they have a very short memory and a tremendous ability to forgive people who go, I messed up.
You know, I got to disagree about John Edwards, because I think John Edwards was totally against character. John Edwards was a beautiful man with a beautiful family who did this thing. Everybody always knows that Mark Sanford's been a jerk.
Who had cancer.
Who everybody loved.
You know,
no one loved Mark
know.
Sanford. You know, it's like John Edwards became drunk Superman, and Mark Sanford's like Lex Luthor being Lex Luthor. Like his whole reason why he was attractive was to Americas. I want everybody to come. Like he was a healer, and then he became.
And again, unlike Newt Gingrich, we all knew his cancer-stricken wife for a long time before she got sick and died.
And she was amazing, and we loved her, and she was
Is this a bad trend that there are less and less swing districts in the country where both parties parties have somewhat of a chance of winning? I mean, does it
There
just
are
make
less
sense?
swing districts, but more swingers.
Yeah.
More swingers. But I mean, because I know how they think in the South, you know, because they're like, well, he's got real good taste in mistresses, you know, because he's dating Evita and she's hot.
Well, I think you're right. I think, do you think there's a level that to some degree people respect him for having great taste in second wives?
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't care.
Think
I mean,
about them.
That's especially it's men, you know, the Southern men.
Yeah.
I've heard them say it. I've heard my dad's golfing buddies say it.
These family values guys, man. I'll tell you, my theory is that, you know, he's a twit, and once she realizes due to the language difficulty that he's actually not that bright, it's going to be a tough time for her living in Georgetown. Elizabeth Colbert Bush had the support. By the way, all of his old friends when he was in D.C. before, I wonder if their wives are going to want to have him back over the house. With the new one, with the new Mrs. Sanford. So Elizabeth Colbert Bush had the support of her celebrity brother Stephen Colbert. In this case, it seems celebrity didn't help lead to victory at all. Was it because of who the celebrity is, or is it that a redemption story trumps the celebrity story, or is her brother's fame immaterial to this whole saga?
I think it's immaterial down there. I don't think they, you know.
They don't know who he is?
I don't think they know who he is or care, really. I mean, some of them may, but.
But can fame help? I mean, when George Clooney couldn't get his dad into Congress, can fame help?
It can help to a certain extent. I mean, people voted for George W. Bush because they thought he was George Bush, like they were studied. But it depends again on who it is and the setting. They're not Colbert fans streaming around in the woods in South Carolina.
Yeah, but there's certainly something to be said with a politician surrounding